Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video. So in this one here, I wanted to talk about the new characters here for The Walking Dead, the ones who live, because we do actually have some new characters. So I do want to give some predictions on them and sort of talk about, I guess really focus on Major General Beale, because Major General Beale is going to be probably the greatest enemy that Rick Grimes will ever face. And yeah, I really want to get into that here. So before we go any further, obviously make sure to be a subscriber if you want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. And if you haven't subscribed to the podcast yet, definitely go do so. I'll leave a link down below in the description of this video. It is called the Empty Minds Podcast. Episodes come out every single Monday. Hope to see you guys there. Now, along with the trailer, they actually did sort of release some teaser images of some of the newer characters here. So we actually got, in total, there was 4 characters announced overall, besides Rick and Michonne. And that is Major General Beale, Jadis, Nat, and then Pearl Thorne. Pearl Thorne, we already knew that she was going to be a character. That was announced earlier this year at some point. And yeah, that was the only character that was officially announced besides Rick and Michonne up until, I guess, last week or whatever. So now we have 6 characters in total that we know are going to be a part of this show. Probably going to be obviously like bigger characters, I would imagine here, right? Pearl Thorne, obviously, I think she's going to be really associated with Rick Grimes just because of her outfit here. She's a CRM jacket. She's probably doing the same exact thing that Rick's doing. There's some sort of job or whatever that they're doing, and it's just something that she's not having a lot of fun with. And I do wonder what her whole backstory is going to be. Where she's from, and just how she got here at the CRM and whatnot, because I think that really builds characters, right? Like when you learn more about their backstory and a lot of that. And I just think that it makes sense that she and Rick are going to be, I guess probably working together to get out of this situation, right? I can imagine in episode 1, learning more about this character, just judging by this one shot here, she really could just sort of be just down on life and just not feeling the best, just depressed and everything, and not really, maybe she has like no will to do this or that or whatever. I feel like most of this is actually from episode 1, because I don't think they're gonna really be giving us a lot from episode 2 or anything else like that. I think with teasers with this show, they're really going to hold a lot of stuff back. Any kind of trailer that's released is probably going to feature stuff from just episodes 1 and 2. There might be like a random shot from like episode 3 or 4 or something, but like they're really going to hold back on a lot of stuff because they want to hype up some stuff, right? And they want to create that sort of, excitement there for the show. And I could see episode 1 focused entirely on just building up our characters, introducing the new world that they're in and what's going on. We're going to see Pearl Thorne just very, down on life. Rick Grimes as well is going to be very down on life. There's a shot right here where he just seems really tired. And that's, obviously if you're killing walkers all day, that's really tiring. So, that's sort of what his life is like now. And it's very, very miserable. So I just want to see what happens with Rick, like what is actually going to happen with the character. And exactly how are they going to tell the story? Because it's been like 10 years. I know at one point he left, but like, did something happen to him or whatever because he left? And like, how much are we going to see in that episode? Are we going to see when Rick first arrived at the Civic Republic? And there's just a lot of little things like that I'm curious about. Just like, what exactly are they going to tell in terms of, just Rick's experiences overall? And I think Pearl Thorne is going to be a pretty big character in that. And I actually do think that, I'm just excited for the character. I really hope that she does become a big character or almost like a fan favorite, because I absolutely love the actress. So I think it would be really, really incredible. So the next character here, this character's name is Nat. There is not really a lot to know about the character yet. We really have no idea. The only thing that I can guess is that he's a part of the survivor, I don't know what you would call it, but that group that Michonne was with. That is the only thing I can really guess, judging by the people in the back here, because they're wearing that same sort of, like, I don't know what you would call that, like that robe thing or whatever. Like they're sort of wearing the same type of thing there. So I think this is connected to, like, this whole scene is connected to Michonne's story here. And I think it's kind of interesting looking at how they're marketing it kind of overall, right? Like they released an image of one new character from each of Michonne and Rick's story. And we have Nat here. He's going to be a part of Michonne's story. And then there's Pearl, who will be a part of Rick's story, right? And, Nat, I do wonder just overall, I guess his role in everything here. That's the thing. Like, this is a random shot and he could literally be just an episode 1 or episode 2 character, and that is it, right? But because it's this show, The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. It's the return of Rick and Michonne. Like, we're going to be analyzing every single thing here. And so it's just, I mean, it's hilarious, but that's just sort of the way it is, right? So I think that, you know, at this point here, I mean, it shows that they are staying in some sort of place or whatever. So they do travel from place to place. And this isn't at the Pacific Republic. I'm assuming that it is just, again, I think at this point here, Michonne is just sort of with whoever. Like, I am very interested in Michonne's story because Rick, we already know a lot of that. There's some stuff I'm interested in terms of Rick's lifestyle. Like, after he's done work, does he go back home to an apartment? Has he been living like a very safe life like that? Or does he live very miserably? Like, I want to know a lot of details like that. But with Michonne, there's just things about the group that she's been with that we have no idea about. Like, that survivor group or whatever, like, we have no idea what that group is like at all. We don't know just sort of like, you know, what they do, what their whole point is, what their belief system is. Like, there is nothing there that, you know, so I want to know a lot more. I'm way more interested in Michonne's story in that sense, because I think that there's a lot there to uncover, right? And I think, you know, Michonne's been there for a long time, so there's a lot there to sort of get into there. And I actually want to talk about those two shots really quick before we get into Jadis and Major General Beale, which obviously will be like the bigger focus of this video here. But we do see a shot here of Michonne, and again, she's been with this group for a very long time. It looks like she's actually outside of a house at this point here. She could just be looking at a walker. You know, shots like this, I really try to not analyze too much, because I feel like they're not going to be giving us really that much. Like, there's no way she's looking at something here that, you know, if maybe it's a CRM logo or something like that. Like, I think it's just too much to give us, you know, that. She's probably on her journey here, and maybe she's looking at something that kind of reminds her of Rick and or maybe Judith and RJ, and she just kind of feels a little stressed out, a little upset by it. You know, it's probably going to be something just like that, or something is just like, I don't know, maybe there was like a, I don't know, some sort of just horrible thing that happened in that house, and so she's sort of reacting to that, right? So to me, really cool shot. The other shot of Rick, I think, is just I mean, it's just so cool to have Rick back. I'm so excited for that. But let's talk about Jadis, because Jadis, you know, besides Major General Beale, is also a character that is really, I mean, fascinating, I would say, for this season. Because is she going to be on Rick's side? No. But, like, is Rick going to team up with her in any way to sort of get out of this situation? I feel like he definitely will. But I'm sort of just going based off of some of those things that, like, came out online. And I'm not going to talk about it here or anything like that. But so much of it is just so weird, and I don't understand Jadis as a character. I just don't. And I really feel like this show is going to still sort of have that story idea or element or whatever to it, where Jadis is kind of back and forth, right? Like, she's only really loyal to herself and no one else. And so does Rick trust her? You know, I feel like it depends. If the show gets to season 2, then I could see Jadis surviving until season 2. But by the time this show ends, Jadis will die, though. I think Jadis definitely is going to be a character death in the show, because there's just no way you can ever trust her. And she's very, very threatening. You know, I think in World Beyond, she actually talked with Major General Beale, so she does actually have a connection to him. And it's just, there's some stuff there that is very, very terrifying. And I would stay away from Jadis at all costs. And she is just, you can't trust her. And I don't think Rick should trust her at all. And going into the show, I am going to be totally on Rick's side and be like, you cannot trust Jadis. Just do not, because she's always planning something. She's always doing something. And she's always sort of messed up Rick's plans and sort of his life in general. So I think that just definitely do not trust her at all. I can't wait for Michonne to get there. And speaking of Major General Beale, you know, I feel like that's going to be sort of and that's where things get interesting. So first of all, you know, this video is really focused on a lot on Major General Beale, and I sort of, you know, I guess on the thumbnail it says like the greatest enemy or whatever, or Rick's greatest enemy. And I really do believe that. When you look at all of the villains that Rick has come across, Major General Beale will be like the greatest villain, because first of all, he has the most power out of anybody. You know, and it's the actor too playing him. It's just absolutely incredible. I'm so excited. I never watched Lost or anything like that, but I've heard so many great things about that show and just so much about the actor, and people seem to be very excited about it. And I think it works so perfectly, and I'm just so interested in what he finds so valuable about Rick. And I really wonder if the thing about it is he wants Rick to be on his side, but Rick refuses to. And so he needs to sort of go through all of, you know, what he's going through right now, because Major General Beale is trying to break him. and make him join the Civic Republic, but he refuses to. And that would be so admirable if that actually is the case. You know, Rick's been just like killing zombies for like 10 years or something like that. And he just refuses, like he will not join the Civic Republic. And Major General Beale just has the patience and it's just like, yeah, you know what? Well, we're just going to keep letting you do that then, right? I mean, that's just insane. That's inspirational in a sense because Rick is just that loyal, right? Like he just, I mean, I hope that that's the story. We'll have to wait and see. They find Rick to be very important though. And there's still confusion as to why. I know there's the whole A and B thing, but as of now, we don't really know too much of, I mean, if that's going to play a role really at all. It did definitely back in the day. It still probably will in some way. I feel like a lot of that stuff, though, isn't going to really play that big of a role anymore because that stuff was like teasers to the Civic Republic and to certain ideas. And we kind of already got the reveals of a lot of that. And I feel like it's going to be such a nothing thing in this show. Like, it's just going to be like, oh, you know, yeah, I gave you away because this, you know, I didn't see you as a test subject. I saw you as like more of a leader or whatever. So, and I think that's going to be it. And then that's pretty much all it is. So obviously the hype back in the day for the A and B stuff was really insane. But I mean, it was sort of our introduction to this bigger world, right? So that is that. And again, Major General Beale, I hope he is very terrifying. I hope that he just seems very menacing and like he has a lot of power. And you got to remember in World Beyond, I hope that he just seems very terrifying and very menacing. And yeah, I'm excited to see his interactions with Rick. I really feel like those are going to be, I think it's going to really remind me a lot of Rick versus the Governor for some weird reason. Because when I look at villains overall that Rick has faced, Rick and Shane, I mean, they were like brothers basically, so it's not the same. Rick and Negan and even Gareth, like there was that, you know, intensity there, but it wasn't the same as Rick and the Governor. And like Rick and the Governor, there was such a hatred there. The Governor was so terrifying. And I know Negan was as well. I know all of that, but like, I don't know, back then, you know, or during season 7 and 8, it really felt like Negan was sort of on par with Rick. And I think maybe it's because of the popularity of his character. There's just something about it. And also, Negan was very likable and he was just fun, right? And the Governor's not really fun. And I mean, he is likable, but he's just not fun. He's a little more terrifying. And I feel like Major General Beale is going to be more of that. Like, if I had to pick what type of villain he's going to be, he's going to be more like the Governor than Negan, right? And I think that's incredible. Like I've wanted a villain like that to come back, and we just haven't had a villain like that in a while. So for Rick to be encountering somebody like that with so much power, and Rick won't break at all. Like he won't. Although that's not entirely true. Like if something happens, you know, if there's a threat against his family and all that, he will. We saw that. Negan got to that point where he broke Rick, but then again, Rick has come so far since that moment. Can he be broken again? Like, there's just a lot there. And I think with the character, in terms of, you know, how they're going to reveal the character, I feel like they're going to hold it off until, I don't know, I really don't know. Like, are we going to see the character in the trailer? Probably not. I really feel like we're not going to really see Major General Beale at all unless there's like one shot of him kind of thing at the very end of the trailer, because he's a very mysterious, very powerful person, and he is somebody that no one wants to really mess with at all. And I just can't wait for that first scene. I don't know when it's going to happen, but that first scene between Major General Beale and Rick Grimes is going to be insane, and we're going to see that just next February, just in 4 months from now. It's not even that long. It's crazy. So that's overall my sort of prediction here, is I really feel like Major General Beale is going to be the greatest villain he's ever fought, because I think he's going to be more terrifying. He's going to really have the best qualities about him that, you know, other villains have had, and I think he's also going to be very unique because of his position of power. And again, the actor is also really incredible. So I'm so excited. I really cannot wait. All the new characters here, just absolutely incredible. I'm very excited to meet these characters. And we have 4 more months until this show comes out. And so within those 4 months, you know, what to expect. Well, Fear the Walking Dead is premiering this Sunday. That's going to go for 6 weeks. And then this show is completely over. So any sort of spinoff announced with this show will probably happen then. If there's hints at Dwight and Sherry going to Dead City, that will be announced then. There's going to be a bunch of stuff like that, or Madison, or whoever, if someone dies. Any of these characters getting spinoffs, we're going to find out. If they're going to be in season 2 of any of those shows, we're going to find out then. But also, throughout the next 6 weeks, we're probably going to get a lot of promotion for The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. And I think that, you know, the trailer is likely to drop at the end of November, because if they don't release it at the end of November, I mean, let's just say like at the end of November, at that point, like that's a month and a half away, will be literally 2.5 months until the premiere. And they don't promote a lot of stuff around Christmas time because it's the holidays kind of thing. Like there's some stuff maybe early December or whatever, but there's not a lot during Christmas and stuff and just the holidays in general. So in January, they would have to promote it. And I feel like that is such a mistake, like with The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, to reveal just the first ever like trailer or anything in early January to hype it up for the next month's release, I think is a big mistake. You don't want to do that. Like that's only a month and whatever. Like you want to reveal that at the end of November. There is going to be something there. We're going to find out a specific release date. And again, I think it's just going to be really exciting. And then there's just going to be these little teasers that sort of drop and whatever. And it's just going to be insane, honestly. And then once it's like mid to late February, we're going to be watching this show until late March, early April, most likely just up until late March. And it's going to be really an epic event. And then I do predict once this show is over, we're going to find out, first of all, if it's getting a season 2 or not, but we're also going to get the season 2 trailer for Daryl Dixon. I think it's going to be an official trailer, and then the release date's probably going to be probably this summer, I'm assuming, but we'll have to wait and see. I could be wrong on that. And yeah, we'll have to see what's coming for 2024. But I'm going to leave it here. Definitely post all your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.